Right, we're going to have a look hopefully at the insides of a GHD Glide. Now, we did have one of these in for repair a week or two ago, and I did a quick video on how to change the cable on it, but I really wanted to get it stripped apart for a closer look at the internals. Unfortunately, that was a customer's one, and I couldn't risk doing any damage to it whilst trying to get it apart. So I bought another one on eBay. This was supposed to be faulty, but I think the only thing wrong with it is a faulty mains cable down at the plug end. I think there is an internal break, because I can actually fire these up and get them to stay on, and it's actually pretty hot at the moment, so that might be a problem if we do get these apart. But we're going to have a closer look and see if we can work out how to get these apart. The cable change was very straightforward. It's just a matter of prising off this chrome metal piece at the end and then undoing some screws, but it was not obvious how to get the rest of the irons apart, so I thought we would have a closer look on camera, and if it all goes pear-shaped, well, it won't be put on YouTube. But if we do get into it, it would be interesting to have a little look. Now, the cable, if anyone watched the previous video, can be changed just by taking these screws out and prising the back part of the arms apart. So just in here, if you get your fingernails in there, you can just lift them apart far enough to get the socket to come out with that, and at that point you can put a new cable in, prise them apart again, and put the whole lot back like so, and then pop the new cable back on. But that is not today's problem. We had a closer look just briefly on the last pair, and the only way in seems to be either to prise off the two halves or prise them apart with a spudger tool, but they seem really hard. And that really is on there with some force, if that is the only thing that's holding them on. There's a little piece of silicone at the end here, but I don't think it's big enough to be hiding a screw. We've got the switch there. I just don't see any way into these. So yeah, whether we can put this spudger in there, I really don't know. Probably have to chop this video up a little bit as we edit this. It's probably going to take too long. Let's see if we can get the plastic one in there and run it along. That's not having it. Let's see if we can start it down here. Just run it up. Cool, that is absolutely solid. So we're going to cut into this video with a little bit more information. I made a complete dog's dinner of getting these GHD Glides apart. I forced them apart and broke all of the lugs off of the other arm. This is actually screwed together, not clipped together as I originally thought. And the reason it wasn't obvious is there is a cover on this, just like the GHD Golds and the Max irons, and you have to leave this cover off, and underneath, I'll show you in a minute, you've got a whole load of screws holding the two halves together. Unfortunately, I was rushing the video, my mind was elsewhere, and it did not occur to me for 1 second that this was a cover, but it is. So to get this off, you just need a fairly stiff spudger of some description. You just need to get it into the end here, and that will give you a chance to lever up there, and then you can get something else that's quite stiff and just go along and lever a little bit up, and then try and do the same the other side. Just put a bit of pressure onto this with your hand, and then just lift off the other side there. And once you've got both sides off a little bit, you can then start to lift this up, and eventually it will come off. There's loads of little screw screw. There are loads of little tabs here holding it in place, and then if you look in here, there's 2 screws there, another two, and 2, I think 3 there, was there? No, just 2. And you can see I've broken them all off because I snapped this open. I was getting frustrated with it, and it was just not obvious to me because of what I was thinking at the time, that this was a cover. It's pretty obvious now that it would be a cover, but yeah, so we're just going to cut into that video on the real way to get this cover off and actually undo all the screws. Of course, only I'd seen that. That was so stupid. Just looked like 2 halves have been squeezed together. Should have thought about it a bit more, but I'm rushing today, trying to get a few bits done, and now we have completely destroyed a perfectly okay pair of irons or brushes. Now I think all of these are broken. Yeah, apart from these 2, I suspect that's going to unscrew. The others aren't. Oh, how stupid. Oh well, never mind. Lesson learned. I really don't expect there to be anything repairable in here anyway. Yeah, there you go, and there's the other half off. And yeah, all broken. Yeah, pretty annoying. So let's have a look. This does not look very welcoming at all. So we've got a big plate here. Looks like we've got 2 elements going on here. Let's just get this open. Get those teeth out. These things happen, especially when you're rushing, not thinking about it properly. That should have been as obvious as anything. Well, it's certainly worth a few quid I paid on eBay to get these, just to have a closer look. There's no point in thinking that, well, we might have been able to repair this model if we'd had a closer look. Well, now we have had a closer look and it doesn't look very good. So we have a metal plate. I think that is aluminium. Looks like we've got a couple of heater assemblies. Wow, these are pretty chunky. We've got another metal plate there, and looks like we've got a interesting, we've got a couple of oh no, it is a thermistor. So as you can see there's a thermistor just wedged in there, and it looks like we've got 2 heater packs, and they really are thick and chunky. I don't know what they are exactly. Well, let's get this thermistor out. I assume it's a thermistor rather than a cutout, but we'll take it apart in a minute and get some readings. Yeah, and then the heat is obviously transferred into the metal here and also into these brushes. I don't know whether they're going to come out. Now it looks like some of them are part of it, and these ones perhaps pop out. Yeah, it looks like some of them come out and some simply are part of this casting. So we've got plastic there, plastic here, yeah, they're all plastic brushes, as you can see. And then we have the metal ones in between, so pretty straightforward. Right, so I've really made a good old mess of that pair, so I'm just going to wipe this clean, and then we'll just have a closer look at these elements. And oh, for God's sake, it gets worse. It's one of those days I just shouldn't have bothered with any of this today. Alexa, meters on. Right, so let's have a closer look, see what we can do here. That circuit board is just screwed down there. So that's that. You also have a screw here. Okay, looks like we've got a some sort of high voltage device there, and I wonder if these have any sort of ozone generator or something like that, or, you know, ion generator. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So input voltage on this device here is 100 to 250, and the output is 1.5 to 3000 volts DC, power 1 watt max. So yeah, definitely got to be careful with these. And if I show you that device, you see the really sharp prong, so that is discharging there. So use a similar thing in the spa for generating ozone, so I'm not sure what it is, what the benefits are with this, but that is what it's doing. So we have all soldered connections. I'm just going to get the meter on, the soldering iron on. We've got a circuit fitted fuse there, I think. Yeah, there's a fuse 1 there, that is the green component you can see there. The chip is unreadable. Let's have a look. It's an HT something, I really can't quite read that. But nothing is repairable inside this. Yes, if that fuse had failed, we could change that. The switch, yeah, it's on. It was soldered on lugs by the looks of it. Oh no, it's a header. I think that just pulls off of that header. It could have been soldered in both sides though. Yeah, it's on a header, but the header's been soldered both sides, so that's never coming off of there. So yeah, it's the switch and LEDs, etc. Okay, so the soldering iron is heated up. Now the wires have been threaded through the circuit board, 3 each side, and then they go off to soldered on terminals. Yeah, and that is a thermistor, negative temperature coefficient. So I think we'll just chop these wires off. Where are we? I think they're being powered up together, so let's just, I wonder if we can unsolder them. Let's try that first. Come on, out you come. Oh, sorry, let's just cut it. Got enough bare wire there to get some readings. And then we need the thermistors, the white one, black one for the other end of the elements. Let's just snip those off. And the other end of the thermistor is this one. Right, so let's grab these out. Captain tape holding them all down. So let's have a look at this first of all, the thermistor. We're just going to bear that back and we'll get a reading off of that, see if we can guess what that is. So thermistor reading is 200k at 14.5 degrees currently. So yeah, 207, 208k, 210k almost. So that is what that is. Now, I wonder what elements they've used. They are really chunky, almost metallic. I know there's Captain tape or something similar on them. I don't know whether we can get that off. Let's get the reading first. Let's just bear these. What do you reckon? I'm sticking to about 70 ohms. And they are 1.22k. Alright, interesting. Just check the other side. Should be exactly the same. So yeah, absolutely nothing to be repaired in these. That's interesting. 2.8k and 1.24. Just going to see if we can strip back this tape and see what it looks like inside. Oh, no, I just snapped it. That was very soft in there, so I don't know what sort of arrangement that is. Be a bit more careful with the other one. Oh, that's interesting. So little lugs just pushed and crimped onto the metal here, and if we lift this off, well, that's a very interesting arrangement. We've got 3 resistive ceramic pads, I would think, and the whole lot is getting heated up. Again, that is a new design for me. Let's just check that reading. Let's go through one of these to the metal the other side. 2.49, 2.56, 1.84k. Very interesting. Never seen anything like that before. 3 distinct pads are made of some material that conducts in just a manner to heat up and heat the metal up and transfer it to all the other metal parts. Yeah, very interesting. Never come across that before. Notice the different sizes. Have we got 3 different sizes? No, so we've got 2 different sizes there. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Anyway, look, absolutely not repairable unless the cable has been damaged. This fuse has failed. That would be replaceable, but yeah, other than that, no. You've got no chance of repairing these whatsoever. So now we know. Anyway, I hope that was useful.